Welcome back to BSR TV for round 8 of season 7 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, presented by Engine Oils Direct. Andrew Woodhouse with you again, and Adam Bath and Alex Simpson are alongside me. I bring Alex in first this time. We saw a fantastic race in race 1 of the day, and then surely the reverse grid's going to provide us with some action, some chaos, and everything that Watkins is known for.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be so lucky this time by with an incident-free first lap. Well, not that it was incident-free anyway, because at the back of the last couple of corners. So, but yeah, I think I just get the sense we might be in for a big one.
Adam, that S's section on the first lap, that was difficult when you've got a bit of a disparity between speed of cars. Can you see there being trouble brewing there?
And I think we're going to see a few cars using that runoff area into turn 1, and then that's just going to make it even harder to get through the S's, because the field's all going to be trying to get into line as we head up through the S's. Let's run you through the reverse grid for this race. On position, it is Gordon Wilson after the top 19 were reversed, and alongside him will be Peter Newman. On row 2, it'll be Laura Bond in 3rd and Jim Flanagan in 4th, Robert Plumley in 5th, Russell Laidler in 6th, with Louis Silvera in 7th, Dan Blake in 8th, Ben Palmer in 9th, and Julian Janowski in 10th. 11th is Robert Graham, 12th is Ellis Stevens, 13th Simon Field, 14th Dan Kraft, 15th Dan Hunt, 16th Alex Smolensky, 17th David Baker, 18th Steve Walker, 19th Graham Carroll, and then rounding out the top 10 is Halit Ertas. So
I hate to break it to you, but the grid's been completely messed up, I would believe. So we've got Gordon Wilson on pole, but then you've got David Brock alongside him, then Halit Ertas, then Eckhart von Glan. So something's definitely gone wrong there, Alex.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite right, does it? Where are leaders?
We saw this in Daytona, didn't we? With, I think, one of the pole sitters being not included in the reverse grid draw. So
that order was completely different to the one that you read out, but nevertheless, we're going to go racing anyway. The green light is on.
Couple of jump starts there, a bit further back. I'm not sure who that was.
Gordon Wilson leads it into turn 1. David Brock is there in 2nd. He's going to turn it in. And he's
Wilson's
lost.
off.
Oh, Wilson's off. Brock nearly lost it. Wilson,
and he's going to come off. Oh, no! Oh, that's huge.
Oh,
Will there be a
what's
safety
everyone
car?
doing?
Safety car is deployed. Gordon Wilson is flipping over right in the middle of the pack. Who's in the lead?
Oh, the two Elite 220 cars. One of them's gone completely into orbit. That got further than that Virgin Atlantic spacecraft did last week.
What was I saying in the build?
Oh, what's he doing? Reversing onto the... Oh, goodness me. Gordon Wilson, I'll be honest, there was an incident at the back, a big one. But what is Gordon Wilson doing coming on at such a sharp angle there?
What was I saying in the build-up, Andrew? I mean, the cars were going to use that runoff area, and they had to try and condense it all into one to go through the S's. And obviously, Gordon Wilson didn't do that. I'll have to look at a replay before I put the blame fully on him.
Yeah, but the problem I've got with that is there's so much runoff area there, and it's a front-wheel drive car. You know, coming back onto the track on the grass, it's not going to affect you that much. For me, it's a silly incident. Very, very silly incident. But there was also a big one at the back, Alex. I don't know if you caught who was involved in that one.
Yeah, just caught the end. It was Slemensky again.
Richardson?
Richardson involved in it as well. So, unfortunately, our overlay system just died on us. So I can't jump back now unless I do it all manually. But we'll do that for the end of the race and get a good look at it. I
know the back end of that involved 2 Elite 220 cars hitting each other. I believe that was Richardson and Smolensky, but I mean there was nothing really they could have done about that. It was all just a big mess, huge mess. And the leader, after all that, is Halit Ertas, and I don't think he's ever led a race in BSRTC.
He obviously hasn't led one for a very long time, and the order then, at the end of this crazy first lap at Watkins Glen International, we did predict that. It's Halit Ertas in the lead, 2nd place Eckhart von Glan, 3rd place Stephen Burke, 4th place John Roberts, 5th place Andrew Whitehead, 6th Jay Wright, 7th Louis Silvera, 8th Dan Blake, 9th Jim Flanagan, and in 10th place is Laura Bond. Our race 1 winner Graham Carroll, he is in 14th place. 14th place. Dan Hunter noticed he was involved in that huge incident into turn 1.
Yeah, he was. And look at that top 10. And it's a very, very unusual top 10. I think we're going to have to pick out, as well with the safety car, the reduced remaining distance. Safety car not in this lap, at least. It doesn't look like. Got to look at someone like Luis Silveira. Adam, you've got to look at Andrew Whitehead, I think. You've got to look at Dan Craft and Laura Bond.
Yeah, those cars seem to be the quickest we've seen over the whole evening so far. Of course, we've only seen one race, and the rest of the cars were usually involved in the midfield. As one of the cars there comes into the pits. I don't know which one that was, but they're obviously looking to make a pit stop. It's John Roberts, I think. So John Roberts, he must have jumped the start because he might be serving a penalty as we come across the line.
Yeah, I saw a few jump in the start there, to be honest. I think it was on the right-hand side of the grid. A few drivers got off. I guess one went, so then the other went, and the other. So it looked like 3.
I guess one of them was Smith, possibly, and I guess, possibly Jones.
I just quickly give a bit of a request to all the drivers. I'm just having a minor issue with the paints, accidentally left trading paints on, and of course we've got like 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 season old paint livery still on trading paint. So yeah, just a little request from us in the broadcast booth. Can you update them, please?
Yep, that'll never go. That'll never go amiss. That'll never be too. The paint schemes will never be too current for us. Some very good skins this year, but we want to see them all. So yeah, come on, guys, get that one sorted out with the right names and the right numbers and everything.
So we're going to be restarting with 14 laps to go. Will the safety car disrupt the running of the race at all, or do you think we'll be back with a big battle for the lead like we saw in race 1?
Well, the issue we've got, in fact, the good thing for the guys at the front and the good thing for us is, with the rolling start, it means that guys like Halit Ertas, Eckhart von Glan, they can make a clean break, and there's hopefully nobody's going to get involved, Alex, at the start.
Yeah, exactly. Should be a little bit cleaner, I think, this time through. So let's just hope no one tries to do anything.
Ertas is disconnected, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, Ertas has gone. He's been plagued with connection issues for the last lap or so. So that will elevate Von Glan up to the lead.
Safety car in this lap.
So here we go then. So
it looks like Russell Loader too much damage as well. Just seen some comments there in our channel. So he looks like he's out. So two guys out. Slaminsky as well. Obviously too much damage. I'm not surprised.
This is the time where Von Glan needs to be backing the field up and not going right up behind the safety car, because it just negates his advantage. Look, down towards turn 1, he's going to be overtaken immediately. Got to be careful not to overtake before the start-finish line. But then Stephen Burke already sees the opportunity to go into the lead, and we're nearly 4 wide there. Down the inside contact.
Whitehead, and I think it was Jay
Wright, I think, yeah.
So as we head up the hill for the first time, Luis Silveira, I think, is back in the mix. He's in third. No, sorry, Halit Ertas, he's obviously disconnected. So Luis Silveira in third now. Second place is still Eckhart von Glan, but Stephen Burke has taken the lead.
He has indeed, and again, yet another example of just being too impatient. Long race here, relatively 14 laps, and
it's getting a bit tasty further back as well. Looks like there's a little bit of jostling. Yeah, I can't never pronounce that.
It's fine. Michael Jones disqualified, apparently as well. Banging between Graham Carroll and Pete Newman sends Newman wide, and Dan Blake's coming through, and also Pete Newman's teammate Simon Field up the inside, looking at least up the inside of Dan Blake. Everyone seems to be clean, so Burke leads, and then it's Von Glan, and then it's Luis Silveira.
Over the line then for the first lap under green. Everyone setting their first representative lap times, and Stephen Burke doing the best lap time of the top 5 as we head into turn 1. 2 cars going side by side. I think that might have been Graham Carroll. Yes, it was. He was getting past Laura Bond. So Graham Carroll up into 6th place already as Silvera and Von Glan are going side by side through the S's. You don't want to do that. Silvera slots back into 3rd place, but that will allow Dan Kraft in the Peter Newman Media car to get a tow off the Oculus 360 car as we head down the back straight.
Yeah, he's right up his sphincter now, Alex, heading towards the carousel.
Yeah, I think he's going to... Well, I thought for a minute he was going to get a good run, but just seemed to fizzle out there. I guess that's the issues when you're
he's up the inside, though.
Great move.
Eckhart Van Glan, obviously, the stop in the bottle.
Ooh.
3 wide nearly as we head down the back straight, and one of the Peter Newman Media cars had to get out there. That was Dan Kraft, and Silvera surely will have the inside line now into the penultimate corner, as will Dan Kraft down the inside of Von Glan as well. So Von Glan's lost back 2 places. We expected that at the beginning. Von Glan's usually not the kind of person you see at the front as another car tries to go down the inside through the final corner. That's
Flanagan! No!
That was Carroll, wasn't it? Graham Carroll, the race 1 winner, flipping over constantly. 2 Apex Racing TV cars flipping over in this second race.
Luckily, he didn't collect anyone else, and so the field gets through pretty much unscathed. So, and also getting through unscathed. A few hairy moments for Von Glan. He's still up in P4, actually, but he needs to, maybe less timid in wheel-to-wheel competition.
Daniel Kraft now trying to get past Luis Silvera as we head down the back straight. Silvera last time around did a 1 minute 13.1, as did Dan Kraft as well. So both of them setting equally as good lap times as we head into the carousel. Silvera takes a bit of an interesting line, a wide entry in so he can get the best possible apex, but that's just allowed Dan Kraft to get right onto the back of him now. They're going to go side by side down the short chute, down towards the penultimate corner. Yeah, side by side, as is Laura Bond and Von Glan in the background. So Laura Bond could be on for a 4th place here into this corner. Luis Silvera holds on to his 2nd place for now, but Von Glan is desperately trying to hold off Laura Bond.
Yeah, Bond having a little look into the final corner. She's trying to break the draft, I think, more, and I think she's done it now as well, which gives the opportunity to get the run, but has to go defensive to cover off Dan Blake here.
Dan Blake, will he have a lunge down the inside?
He
does, and he's going to go on the grass. Is he going to collect? No, anyone? No, he doesn't, thankfully.
Oh, he does actually collect one of the Peter Newman Media cars, give him a slight nudge.
Simon Fields.
Look at him, he's come right back on, right in front of Laura and also Jim Flanagan. Bond being shuffled back now. She's got Steve Walker alongside now. So from battling for 4th position, Laura's down in 10th, 11th place, and looking to go further back even. 3 wide now.
Is this the battle for the lead? Yes, it is. The top 3 are all right with each other now as we head through the carousel. Stephen Burke, I don't know what happened, but he obviously slowed up because Silvera and Dan Kraft were all over him. Silvera now in 2nd place, Dan Kraft in 3rd, and just like in race 1, we've now got a 3-way battle for the leader. Silvera looks down the inside, nearly takes out Stephen Burke. That was really close.
I wonder if Burke's going to set a screen, Alex, for his teammate to come through. I think he has, look. Or he is. Just that little slight defensive move, and it'll allow Dan Kraft surely to come through at the earliest opportunity.
It's interesting that we've got 2 Peter Newman cars up here fighting, where last race it was the 2 Lugnuts, and I know these guys, both teams are doing well in the championship, so...
Oh, that's risky.
Where Lugnuts have pulled away the last race, Peter Newman looking to come back again.
Up through the S's then, and of course, as we saw in race 1, the person at the front is going to be practically a sitting duck to the cars behind, but this time around Luis Silvera made a bit of a mistake. He nearly hit the Armco barrier on the exit of the S's, and that's definitely going to allow Dan Kraft to have a look. Peter Newman Media haven't won a race, I don't think, this season. They might have.
Oh no! That is Silvera and... Oh no!
Oh, huge in the back. We've got another car in orbit.
Car in orbit. There's another one down the straight as well.
I think Simon Field joined that probe on that comet basically. Dan Kraft now leads. Luis Silvera.
I tell you what, Adam, he's going to get there a lot quicker than 10 years.
He's probably there right now.
This probably is.
Out of the final corner then. 9 laps to go then.
State of Silvera's car. He pits, yeah, and I think slightly pitting from shame, Alex, I think, on that one.
Yeah, I did think, I guess he's got the meatball there. I'd be surprised if he can continue in that one, to be honest.
Meatball, sausage roll, pot pie, doesn't matter, he's out of the race.
Round the outside of Bond, he's going to have to go up the inside of, who is that? Just ahead of him, was that back marker? It was a back marker, I think.
It was Von Glan.
Yeah,
It was-
Von Glan
No, yeah,
went
Von
a bit,
Glen, sorry.
got a bit shifty through the corner there, as you see. Von Glan under pressure from Dan Blake. Blake's going to go around the outside of him, and now look at this big train. Big train.
Robert Graham, the pole sitter. No, sorry, he wasn't the pole sitter, but Robert
So
Graham.
good they named him twice.
And is it all going to go wrong? Surely they're going to go 3 wide again into the carousel. Sort yourselves out, guys. We don't want another issue. And they all do. They all somehow end up managed to get around the carousel without incident, and the action surely is going to start again. They're all going to use that slipstream as we head down towards the penultimate corner. The Lugnuts card there.
Bond and Baker side by side nearly.
Yep, Laura Bond still managed to hold on to a position, I think, as the Lugnuts car with the red mirrors in 7th place. That's Julian Janowski. He has now managed to get past the car behind him, which is Dan Blake. So as we come around to complete another lap, 7 laps to go now, or is it 8? 8 laps to go, sorry, here at Watkins Glen International, and the racing is still thick and fast.
Dan Craft leads by 5 seconds, Adam, and he's really done a good job so far. Alex, typical Watkins racing, heart in the mouth moments all the way through.
Yeah, exactly, and we got right now 2 wide through the S's, Baker and Bond again. Baker decides not worth it right now. Jim Flanagan perhaps just a little bit slower than both of these drivers. Laura needs to get up to him and make that move as quick as possible.
5 seconds covered, 2nd to 13th place. All these cars in the line, all these Kia Optimas. Down towards the carousel again, and you can see Jim Flanagan in 2nd position. Great run from Flanagan. And Laura Bond now up into the podium position. She's going to challenge Flanagan while being challenged by David Baker. And you see
Baker
Steve
got
Walker.
a great run off that corner as well. We're going to be
3
3 wide here, I'm sure of it. No, Baker eases out of it. He knows it's not worth it.
Flanagan covered the line. He was smart. He didn't let it become 3 wide. Bond's looking round the outside. That's not going to work. And might allow Baker a look into the final corner. Baker. Oh, it's a car in the wall. Oculus 360 car in the fence. I don't even know who that was.
I can't see anyone dropping down the order, so I'm not sure myself either.
Dan Hunt it was, I think. I think it was.
What were we saying a few laps ago, Alex, about the Lugnuts cars not being near the front? They definitely are now fighting for that podium spot as we head up through the S's. 7 laps to go. Laura Bond doing everything she can to hold off 4th place David Baker. And is that a back marker, I think, the car in front, or is it... Oh, sorry, it's Jim Flanagan, my apologies. Jim Flanagan.
No, she just put a move on Jim into turn 1 there, now having to go very, very defensive to try and hold off on this. I think she is a bit quicker than Jim, so if she can...
Oh, Baker's through the middle, that's wonderful!
Will he have the traction on the exit though, Andrew, to top it off? Will he get 2nd place round the exit? Laura Bond shoves him out wide onto that little bit of runoff area, and he's managed to hold on to his 3rd place. What a great move through the middle of Bond and Flanagan.
That was aggressive, but really, really good from David Baker. Bond's gone on the grass, and she's in the gravel now. Flanagan goes wide as well. She's going to come back onto the track. Good control to avoid David Baker, but now under severe pressure from the Apex Racing TV car. Robert Graham started in 22nd place, up to P6. He's looking for 5th now. In fact, he's looking for 3rd now.
Danny inside. Will he get the move? Bond will try and keep it for as long as she can, but I think Graham has done it. So Robert Graham up into 3rd place. Fantastic job by him. While his teammates were flipping over left, right and centre, he's now up into 3rd.
Steve Walker's going through as well, Adam.
Yes,
everyone's
he
in
is.
such close proximity there. It just looks as if you let one car gets past, you lose the drive, you lose the run. Laura down to 5th now. Just couldn't quite get an exit out of turn 1 like she wanted, but got back in the draft, having a little look back on Walker.
So easy to do at this track though, Alex. I've done it before, you've seen me do it. Overtake a car, and always as Graham goes very wide in the carousel, overtake a car, and then the very next corner you misjudge the aero balance, you make a slight mistake. That's what Laura Bond possibly did there, getting slightly overexcited as Graham into the penultimate corner. Steve Walker on the outside, Laura Bond on the inside, Graham at the front, Walker's on the grass, and now he's been passed by Janowski, and then just behind Janowski is Steve Walker. Jim Flanagan's been relegated from 2nd, he's down to about 8th now. And then there's Laidler, is it? No, it's not Laidler, it's Ben Palmer. Also looking on the inside. Constant side-by-side action here. Into turn 1, Walker turns in. Just avoids Flanagan. At the back of this pack, Ellis Stevens. Got him come to grief with the final in the last race, and he's very nearly come to grief there, Alex.
Yeah, they're always on the edge, it seems, of late. Holds on to it that time.
Only side by side with Colin Steele. Colin Steele up in 11th place. Excellent run from him.
Yeah, down the straight. This is fantastic racing. This is my third season covering BSRTC, and I have to say this is some of the best racing I've seen.
Three abreast. Oh, sorry, Adam into the carousel. It looks a bit hairy there. Oh,
yeah, it was.
In the corner. A bit of contact. Front wheel drive. Mash the pedal. Save the car. Alex, that's what it's all about, mate.
Yeah, Steve Walker there knew exactly what he needed to do.
Adam, you're right. 2 seasons of BSRTC. Not been a race that's been as breathless as this.
And it's not over yet as Bond goes off.
We've got 4 laps to go.
Bond goes off through the grass once again, but she's still in that 4th place, so another good result for Laura Bond at the moment. But we still got, as you say, 4 laps to go as we come over the line. Daniel Kraft has a 6.2 second lead. He's going to take Peter Newman Media's winners down the inside. Contact! Oh my. And they better watch out because Bond is now going to be right in the middle of the track. She's going to be at a huge disadvantage. Flanagan is going to try and get round her as well for 6th place as we head up through the S's now, but she's just managed to hold on to her 6th place now. Because of the commentator, we were saying how great she was doing in 4th.
I was just about to say, Adam, that she'd got back up to 4th. She'd weathered that storm of being passed by a couple of people. Then Janowski comes steaming in. I'm not sure she really saw him, that he was there. And I think it was a decent move by Janowski, but just making contact there. Could have been done with a tiny bit more finesse, but you've got now a man who's finessed this race all the way through. Daniel Kraft heading towards 3 laps to go for him. He leads by 6.3 from Dave Baker. Baker's not going to catch him. He's going to claim 2nd place here, surely.
Try to pick out one incident at the end to talk about this race. You probably need a whole hour to try and condense every single last bit of contact that we've seen in this race. We're just coming across the line now. 3 laps to go. Ben Palmer is now coming under pressure from Laura Bond, side by side now down the straight. Bond's got her bearings back together and she's now going to try and get past Ben Palmer down the inside. It's great to see his team up at the front, and Bond gets that 5th place back. But will Ben Palmer try and get it on the exit? He's going to try and get the toe up through the S's.
It was a clean move though, Adam, and side by side, Flanagan and Steve Walker behind them as well. It's all kicking off in that little pack. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. They're all together.
And it's Stevens.
Stevens is in there as well. Oh, there's a bumping and banging and there's a crashing.
Stevens involved, and as is the Lugnuts car. Oh, and Robert Graham
involved.
Robert Graham, so another Apex Racing TV car is on its roof, flying all over the place.
Oh, did you see that there? The Elite 220 car flew through the middle of that, barely made it through. That was Ellis. Ellis, I think, only got spun round. Everybody else was collateral damage there, Alex, like a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, just having a quick look at that back now, replay, see what happened. Yeah, just a little bit of argy-bargy at the top of the hill, and yeah. All hell broke loose after that.
Robert Plumley has made up, I think, 5 positions out of all that. He's up to what I believe is now 7th. Well, he's battling for that 7th with Flanagan. Flanagan up the inside, Plumley around the outside. Robert's not really had the best season at all, but he's doing well here. Climbed his way up from 24th position on the grid, and now 7th place. Legitimately good performance from Robert. He'll be really happy with that one, I think.
Well, Robert Plumley is now under pressure once again from Jim Flanagan. Plumley ran a bit wide through the final part of the S's, and that's going to cost him straight line speed wise as we head into the carousel on the penultimate lap, and Flanagan manages to sweep around the outside and get that 7th place back. And now Robert Plumley will have to try and follow Flanagan through the carousel and try and set him up into the penultimate corner, which is what he's doing now. Flanagan, I think he was involved in that bit of contact a lap ago between the likes of Stevens and Graham, so I don't know whether he's sustained a little bit of damage, but the car looks reasonably in a good shape. So through the left-hander, they're both still at it into the final corner. Will he try and have a lunge? No, he won't, but he has got another lap, the final lap, to try and get past Flanagan.
Run to the final lap. All I can see, I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast, Alex, smoke billowing from that engine in pit road, covering the front straight a bit like a smoke screen there. Laura Bond trying to get Ben Palmer on the last lap. Also Robert Graham, and he's coming under severe pressure from Janowski. Great run from Julian here.
Yeah, Julian looks like he's got the momentum. He's going to have to go around the outside. We know that Lugnuts car is set up really, really nice this week, so might be able to do it.
Here we go. Let's find out if he can hold on to it. Janowski trying to go around the outside.
Wide.
He's gone. He's lunging. He's gone in too deep. Robert Graham. So through the carousel, and now Julian Janowski up into third, and he's now going to be a sitting duck to Ben Palmer and Laura Bond behind.
Daniel Craft though.
Crash at the back.
Daniel
Flanagan, sorry to interrupt you there, Andrew, but Jim Flanagan and Robert Plumley were battling, and Flanagan's just hit the wall hard, but it's Daniel Craft that's going to take the win.
Yep, indeed. I didn't quite catch what happened there. Apologies. Ben Palmer and Laura Bond banging wheels through the final corner. Who's going to get to the line first? It's going to be Laura Bond who just about nicks 5th position from Palmer. And that was... Well, gentlemen, that was one of the exciting races, one of the outstanding races in BSR history. As you can see, it's still not over. These 3 guys fighting Von Glan and Steele fighting over that 9th place. But Adam, what a race. I'm absolutely out of breath.
Yeah, I think that one's going straight in the BSRTC archive. What a fantastic second race. I thought it couldn't get any better than race 1. It may not have been a battle for the lead, but it was battles left, right and centre. Positions changing, crashes, big crashes, typical touring car racing, and only 12 cars finished on the lead lap, similar to the iRacing Brazilian Grand Prix that me and Alex were calling at the weekend. So a fantastic second race, and I think it's just going to get even better in the third race.
Tell you what, there was a lot of spins and crashes in the Brazilian Grand Prix at the weekend, but I think there were more in that little 17-lap race at Watkins than there was in that entire 2-hour broadcast that you guys did, and it was a fantastic race, by the way, in its own right. Alex, when we're trying to pick an incident from this race, what springs to mind for yourself? You're the one who's going to have to go and find it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking it's got to be the Peter Newman and Luis
Stephen Burke.
Silveira, yeah,
Stephen
Burke.
Burke.
That was it. Yeah, it was Peter Newman car, wasn't it? So yeah, Steve Burke. That one, that I think is a big one because that was they're battling for the lead there quite well into that. I think that's the one we'll try and find out. I just want to pick up on an interesting point that I've got as well, is that 14 cars finished that race out of a grid of 30. So we had more retirees than we had finishers. So.
Well, that's
And now we've got to do the reverse grid draw.
indeed. We'll get that on. Let's have a look at the contenders for that, Alex, just while you do that. So 15th, Steve Walker. 16th, David Brock. Jay Wright, 17th. Luis Silveira, 18th. Simon Field, 19th. Stephen Burke, 20th. Incidentally, I think this might be one of the first times in BSR history that the men up for the reverse grid pole
Are all
not
retirees.
scored any points at all in the previous race.
Right,
So that's the first for us, isn't it? Should we just have 0 as the number on the dice?
yeah. Let's just do our 3 courtesy rolls. Right, so here we go then. Pole position for the final round tonight is 17th.
So Jay Wright goes on to pole position for this final race. We had safety cars, we had collisions, we had cars flipping over, and we had a car that failed to finish the race, really get that pole position. Alongside him, Jay Wright on the pole position will be David Brock. Then it's Steve Walker in 3rd, Dan Blake in 4th, and Paul Smith in 5th place.
Right, so let's have a look then. Let's take everyone back to lap 8 of this 17-lap race. It's coming out of the S's, you can see. We'll see very shortly. Alex, just let me know when that's
I'm
all
just trying to get it up now.
ready.
Yeah, this is it. I've got it.
But it's going to be the battle between Stephen Burke leading, Luis Silveira 2nd, and then Daniel Craft in 3rd. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, again, let's just slow it right down. It looks like Silveira, they got a little bit wide at the top of the hill, and perhaps had to get out of it because he was going to clatter into the Armco there, and I think that's probably what's allowed them to go side by side. So that's where it all started from. I'm probably doing it in a little bit too slow motion right now because we're a little bit away from the incident. But
Get away with it. It's live TV. Keep
yeah,
going.
exactly. But yeah, and then when the camera switches over as well, let's see if we can get a slightly better camera than that, a bit closer. No, that one's way worse.
It does show though, doesn't it? Chopper's a good one. It does show how close Dan Kraft got though.
So the three are gonna be. Well, yeah, that's. I'm afraid
yeah.
he just. I'm afraid he just clonked him on the rear right.
And that propelled him.
Yeah, that turned him into him. So I have to say,
He
that
just misjudged it.
That one's all on Silvera there. That's all his fault.
I've never seen them close in at such a fair rate of knots, because Silvera made a bit of a hash of the final part of the S's.
Yeah.
But they closed in on Stephen Burke at such a speed that I think it caught Silvera himself by surprise.
No, I think you're right there. And to be honest, if we go up into the iRacing blimp, Alex, we might be able to see exactly what happened later on as the carnage ensues behind.
Yeah, let's. I'll tell you what. Let me just jump it back a little bit. Put up in the blimp. And we'll speed it up a fraction.
So they may,
Burke who got caught in the wall, wasn't it? That everybody else hit afterwards. So let's switch our view to that. Somebody got absolutely launched after that as well. I'm not sure who that was.
Burke was the one who ended up in the air. It was
because he turned into his nose first as
Simon
well.
Field.
Oh god, yeah, he did. He absolutely got launched.
It was Field, wasn't it?
He didn't quite reach the same height as the blimp, but before he disappeared off, respawned back at the pits. But he was getting up there anyway.
So who was involved there? So Field, unfortunately, there's somebody at the back as well. Have you seen that one? If you look from TV1 camera angle, there's two cars already in the fence at the back, flying through the air, which I'd not spotted at the time, but is pretty hilarious in its own right.
No, I can't spot that one, unfortunately.
Not from the front camera. The front camera.
It's not always easy for me with the without the main controls to pick up on that stuff. I'm afraid, so I was limited control with the cameras.
It was Jay Wright that was flipping over, I think, at the back. Andrew, yeah,
there was all sorts going on, wasn't there?
He gets the reverse grid pole for race 3.
That's what happened.
Now I know. Now I know who it is. I might be able to get that back.
That was going on completely separately from everything at the front. That was completely unrelated. And you know what? It's a very similar incident to the one we saw at the bottom of the hill in race 1, where there was a little bit of netcode. They sort of got drawn together. There's a bit of rubbing, and Wright just ends up getting turned by Whitehead, I think. Andrew Whitehead.
Yes, Andrew Whitehead. Yeah.
Oh, it's basically an exact duplicate of what happened just a moment ago.
And all you see is in the foreground, you see that car flying up from the other incident. You see two cars in the air, and there's simultaneously 4 cars flying through the air, only in BSRTC. Would think. Right, boys. I reckon we better get this on for race 3. So we'll leave it there for this one. But it's been an absolute pleasure to call that race, boys. And well, what's the reverse grid going to bring us in race 3? Who knows? But we'll see. Join us again in just a few minutes' time for round number 9 of the season.